Well, hello. It is that time of year when I divvy out between paint and craft. And, every year people put those lovely wreaths on their door, right? Some of them, they pay a lot of money for. Then there's us crafty people who save a lot of money and make them ourselves. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make a fall wreath. But you can make any kind of wreath you want. You can make one for the fall, for Thanksgiving in particular. You could put a turkey on it if you want to. There's Christmas. There's New Year's, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, spring, summer, whatever you want to put on there. You put on there to announce that there's a baby in the family, like it's a boy, it's a girl. People do that too. And it doesn't cost a lot if you know when the deals are. So, granted, this is fall, but the only reason why I'm making a fall one is because at this time of year, when it actually is fall, they put everything on sale, like 70, 80%. And you get a lot for your money that way. Now, Christmas is still prime time Christmas price. So if you want to make a Christmas one, you're going to pay, what it is that you would pay in September anyway. So we're doing fall, but I'm going to show you how to do Christmas. Just imagine the colors being different. Okay. So this is what you need. I will typically get, I didn't know I had this one at home, but you want to get bunches. You want to get these ones that are, this normally would be $9.99. 70% off was $2.99 or $2.49 or $2.09, something like that. So you want to get bunches like this, and I've cut some of these off already, where you have a lot of pieces. You can't see me. A lot of pieces to them. You want to definitely get a couple of different kinds of greenery. That's filler. In the floral design world, filler is the green leafy stuff. Well, this has a little bit of a fall red on it, which makes it nice. And you can't go wrong with the ones that have, this is called eucalyptus, the little eucalyptus, and then like the little fern things. I guess it's a fern of some sort. Anyway, so you want to get 2 greeneries and 2 to 3 of whatever your color scheme is. It could be sunflowers, or it could be a combination of, black-eyed Susans and then sunflowers. It just depends on your color scheme. I love this one because it has the gourds, the little pumpkin kind of things, and it has the yellowy leaves. So it breaks up all the orange with the green that we're going to put on this. So the other tools that you're going to need is 1 grapevine wreath. This is your standard 18-inch grapevine wreath. You can do a 16-inch, but 18 is a nice one on the door. And that's that hook you use for the Christmas wreath. You can use it for this one. There's the door hook. And I got a couple of them, so this was an extra. So that's the hook. That's just to hang it. You're not going to decorate it. You don't need to decorate that. And then there's some new other things you can use. Even though this is a Christmas ribbon, because it's just gold, it kind of goes with the fall color. I'm going to show you how to make a hand bow, nice big poofy bow to put on here. And a pair of good wire cutters, glue sticks, and a little mini glue gun. Now with this little mini glue gun, when you plug it in, it doesn't have an on and off switch. I don't think I have any that have an on and off switch, even my big one. So these are multi-temp sticks. So you don't want to burn yourself because it hurts when you get burnt. These do not stand up. I don't care what you do. The big ones that have a metal little arm on it, they'll stand up on the table. This one doesn't. So I have a cheap little glass plate so that when this is heated up, it'll drip out the end. And you want it to drip on the plate, and it just peels right off of there. Good and hot. Yes, it is. And, oops, see, that's what I'm talking about. It'll just fall all over the place. So I just kind of lay it down there. I can't get it to sit up. And your glue sticks, you want to make sure that your glue sticks go along with the gun. This one says it's high temp. Well, I use high temp on my wreaths because the glue gets melted fast, and it allows you to move it around a little bit. If you kind of like think, I don't want that there, I want to move it. So that allows you to do it. Low temp, not so much, and it takes forever to use low temp, in my opinion. So there's one that are multi-temp, and I think there's a way to adjust them. But so these are the little mini glue sticks. The bigger glue guns are the big fat glue sticks, and that's what I used when I was a floral designer at one of the big name arts and crafts stores years ago. That's what I did every day. I just made pretty things out of silk flowers, and I loved it. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is when you have your little sprigs or bunches like this, you can do one of two things. You can cut them all and then just have these in a bin, so they're already cut for you. Or you can keep them intact like this. This takes up a lot of room, so if you do cut them all, it works great. And as far as storage goes. And so when you cut them, I take the price tags off. Throw it over. I'll sweep it up later. And you'll notice how the leaves are kind of spread out like that. Well, these are your fillers, so you want them to be fluffy, that they'll fill it. And you don't want to cut these longer than the width, the distance of your wreath from front to back. So that's about 2 inches. So you don't want to cut these any more than 3 inches. Now there's several different ways you can attach these to your wreath. Some people like to change the seasons and not have to keep, not have a stack of wreaths in their attic or in the garage or in bags in their basement or whatever. So they like to change out what they put on their wreath. And you can do it that way. You can do it one of two ways. As long as you don't get any heavy winds in your front door, you can just stick them in here. And I'll show you that before I actually glue them. I actually like to, when I'm in the store, I'll take a bunch of these pieces that I've got here, and I'll find an empty shelf somewhere in the store, and I'll lay this out on the shelf, and then I'll start placing my pieces, even though they're still on here, and just kind of like get an idea of how it's going to look. And people look at me like, what the heck is she doing? Now, the other rule of thumb that you may not be aware of, when it's floral arranging, it's odd numbers. You should not find, typically, an arrangement that has 6 flowers of the same color, six of any, no even numbers. It should be 1, 3, 5, 7. Now, the number 1 should be your focal flower or your whatever focal piece. Well, these wire cutters, they cut these really well. I'm cutting these long so I can show you how to put them in there if you want to change them out and that sort of thing. So I know I'm only probably going to use 3 of those. So I don't ever use 3 of anything on a wreath unless I want to cover the whole wreath. And then this greenery here, take that price tag off. And I may not use both greeneries. I may decide I just want to have the maple leaves with the red on them. I don't know until I get to it. And I always shove them up so that it's full at the top. Now, some people think it's crazy, but these pieces that are left over are great for other silk flower arrangements. So what I will do with these, I will cut these off, and I will put them in a bin, a small bin, and that's what these little guys are used for. And I'll show you what I mean. You can use these as a stem extender. So let's say I cut one of these off like this. This is my focal flower for this. And let's say that's not quite long enough because I'm going to put it into this big tall vase, and this isn't long enough. So there's something called floral tape, which I don't have any on the table here. But what you would do is put that on there. Now the stem is twice as long, right? Then you're going to take this little guy. You're going to wrap that wire all the way around, real good and tight, and then take the floral tape on it. It stretches and it sticks as you stretch it, kind of glues itself to itself. And then you go ahead and you use it in your arrangement. And you use the floral foam for that. So I wanted to show you these. The other way to make this changeable is you can, like I said, you can either just stick them in it, stick them in the wreath, anywhere in the grapevine wreath, any place you want, just like that. And you can bend them. You can twist the stem around it to make it look like it's part of it. You can use this little floral wire and wrap it around the stem, say around the bottom of the stem of, say, something like this. Wrap it around here, stick it in there, and then twist it to it. That way you can change them out every year or every season or whatever you want to do. This one's going to be a permanent one for this case. But these are the things you need if you want to make it or you want to take them out and change them. So it's kind of like you can either draw out a map of what you want to do with your wreath, or you can just do it on the fly. But I stood in the store and I kind of played around with what I wanted my end result to be. And each one of these, I'm going to trim these down when I go to glue them. But when I'm placing them to see where I want them, I make it a 3-inch piece at the bottom. And some of these don't have the eucalyptus leaves on them, which is cool because I like texture and I like depth. Kind of like painting, only you're doing it with silk flowers. And so I need 3 of these guys. I may not use all 3 of them. And again, I might. Because I want to use the leafy things for my main leafy part. I'll scoop those up. So there's 3 inches up from the bottom. I've got 1, 2, 3 of these little guys. I have what's called a focal flower, and that's basically like your centerpiece. And this guy, there, I'll cut. I did cut one of those in case I want to use it. I may use it, I may not. So now I still have 4 here. So I may be an oddball and do 2 of these. And then I had this sprig, I call it, and I've already cut some off of that. And let me grab those little guys. So I have one that's got a little pumpkin that I cut off. And I cut off one with just the berries. That was just on there with the berries. And then there's another one with just the berries, and that stem is too long. And I should have one more on there. Should put one more in there. So that's 3. I'm going to be consistent here. And so that still leaves me with these 2 little guys and some other pieces I've got over there. Or that. So then I had this one at home. This one. And that's got 3 there. And I think I already cut 1, 2. Now this is 5 total flowers. So I cut 2 of those. See the flower part, that's still going to be 5. 3, 4, and 5. Cut one of these off. Again, I'm pushing the leaves up because when you'll see when I put it on the wreath how they spread out and fill in the holes so you don't see that brown stuff. Now you can cover the whole thing and you can use all of this, or you can make call it a half moon design, or a C, letter C, a C shape, and that's up to you how you want to do it. Now, if you have thicker stems than what these are, they're a little bit harder to cut. You want some good heavy duty on. These are the stems I'm going to keep from some flower arrangement. I might do one for the table. So those are flowers. I've got my seed fillers. I got my little pumpkin, my 1 pumpkin, and my sunflowers. And I have these little seedy things. I think these are awesome. And they have 1 little flower on them. They're 2 different colors. I already know where these are going because I played with them in the store, like I said. Now, I'm not cutting this just yet. I may not cut it at all because this has several stems twisted around. And this is that floral tape I was telling you about. This is a brown color that comes in brown and comes in green, depending on how much you want it to be hidden. So here's one of those. And so this is a golden seeded piece. And this one's a little bit of a reddish color. You want to take all the tags off because it's hard to take them off once you put them in the thing. You don't want them in there anyway. So the pieces I'm not using, I'm going to throw them up there. And like that. I didn't want to use the gourd on this one. I want to use it in an arrangement. So the pumpkin's round. It's more symmetrical. So it's more fun that way. And this is the other seed. And this is, I don't know if I'm going to use the eucalyptus. I might just throw it in there for the fun of it. This is a nice thick piece. It's got multiple leaves on it. This one, not as many. And this one, not as many either. So it's like 3, 3, and then this one's got 5. So that's where I come up with the 1, 3, and 5. Now we're going to lay out a wreath, and I'm going to stand it up and show you what I did in the store, only I'm going to do it vertical for you. We're going, you stay there, baby. Okay, you don't put in your filler leaves until you find the holes that you need to fill. Now I've already, whoops, I'm dropping my sunflower. Come back here. I don't know why they always have sunflowers for fall flowers, but because my sunflowers are all dead now. They're not blooming anymore. So you want to kind of have a visual of what you want it to look like. So with my, this is my focal flower now. I do mine to the side. Why? Because I typically like to put a nice big bow right here across from it. And these are the little ferny looking leaves, and I'll stick those in there. And sometimes I will glue these after I've stuck them in here. Technically, you should put the glue on it and then put it in there, but this way, at least it's where I want it to be. And this one is going to go here on the opposite side. And then I want to put this little guy, I got tagged on there. Get off of there. This little guy is going to go right under it. So it kind of like has some green that goes towards the center. Gives it more character. Just like that. Now it's starting to take shape very nicely. And the great thing about these being on wires is that one center one, you can bend it to where you want it. Now, I know that I have 1, 2, 3 sunflowers. So, and then I have black-eyed Susan, I guess is what you call that. And I have one of those. So I'm thinking, well, let's do a black-eyed Susan on one side of this focal flower, okay? And then we're going to put, I need to cut this a little shorter. It's a little too long for my taste today. Because it's got to go in there snug. And then I'm going to take that and place it just on the other side of that main focal flower. Now, you could leave it just like this. Some people do. They just like do that, do a big bow, and they're done. Not me. Okay, so we've got that part. Got my focal flower. And I know, sometimes I work from the outside in. I know I want one of these at the ends of either side. And it's going to come down halfway. I'm going to stick that one right in there. Okay? I'll put that one like that. Now the other seeded one goes on the opposite side. Same way. Just like this. Now it doesn't matter if it sticks up, but if you don't like it sticking up, you take it and you kind of bend it in. So that when you put it in there, it'll lay more flat for your taste. I think I bent that the wrong way. I sure did. Bend the other way, kiddo. And then you can always bend the flower to do it. Now I have left space. I left space because I know I want these two to fall right there, right across from each other. So now I can fill in the rest part. And to do that, I know I want the seeded pieces kind of in between flowers. So let's do this way. Just like that. Here's the other one on the side. Like that. Oh, that's looking good. I like it. And now I've got this. I've got my pumpkin. Well, he seems like he's out of place. But since I have a focal flower, let's have a focal pumpkin. Let's do the pumpkin here. Okay, just like that. All right. So it's going to hang kind of cockeyed because that's the way I'm going to have it on the door. That's what I want it. And then this extra one here. Well, let's do the flowers. So then you want to put your flowers in here. You want to kind of balance flowers with greenery. That's kind of the trick. And you can bend it up. As you saw, I bent it up so that it's like saying hello, looking right at you. And the great thing about the leaves on here, they're positioned in a way that you can make them like a square, and that fills in more space. So I'm gonna put this one here, just like that. Get that little guy out there, so I can move that down a little bit. Now, I really don't need to do anything else except, where do I want this one? Well, it seems kind of naked up in here, just a little bit. So I'm going to put it kind of this way. I'm going to do something a little different than I normally do. I'm going to have it go down into the center just a little bit. I'm going to actually put it right here. That's perfect. Yeah, that looks good. I like it that way. And I've got these stems sticking out the back here. Now I can trim them off after I glue it, or I can just bend them down and glue them. Like I said, this one's going to be a permanent one. I got this piece of stick sticking up. I don't like that there. It's got to go. I want a clean circle. Okay? So we've got that in there. Now what's missing? These guys. Now, where I've got the biggest gap is where I want to put this biggest fluff of leaves. And that's going to be right here. And I want to put it behind the yellow because I want the yellow to kind of be the stand out kind of thing. So let's go in here, buddy. Come on. And these do move around, fortunately. And I can bend this back a little. And then that way, this one here that I've got behind, I'm going to take that one and put it in the middle of it and have it out in the front. Where's that stem? There it is. So, put this one in here. Just like that. Come on. There we go. So you pull it tight and then it starts to fan out. And then you can kind of play with where it's at. And then place these little guys in here. In the middle of it, like it's the center of a flower. And it's the center of the leaves. And you can scrunch them up a little bit. They always kind of need to be scrunched up somewhat. Push that one back where it belongs. So that's one filler spot. Another spot here where it needs just this little punch of color. I want to put that little punch of color right there. So you always want to see it go a little bit above what you have. And remember down here, we went two above and one below. And that way we have those colors just creeping into the whole thing. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And I thought about that piece of eucalyptus. You know what? I got that one. I think I'm going to use it. Where do you think I'm going to use it? I'm going to use it where the focal flower is. And I'm just going to stick it right in there. It doesn't have to have any brothers or sisters. It can go in there just by itself and pull this little fern guy kind of in front of it. So it's like a backdrop. It also shows off your focal flower when you do that. So there's a stick sticking out. I find these sticks sticking out. It's from messing with it, moving things around. Now, come on, let it come out there. Da-da-da. There we go. So now they're in place. This is my wreath. I can leave it like this as long as I know that nothing's going to bump it on the door. And I'll pull them out, put them in a bag and say fall. Then I got to remember where they were. So take a picture. Take a picture, put the picture in with the bag of the flowers. And that way you can put them basically in the same place you did the year before. Or you can go ahead and glue them. Now when you glue these, you want to glue the stems to the grapevine wreath. And what I will do is I'll lay it down. And I'll move the leaves and I'll find the stem. And I'll put a glop of glue that's going to hold it where I want it. And let that dry a little bit. Now I'll skip every other flower to do that. So put that one in there. Like I said, this one is a permanent one. And then what I will do is go back to the back side, and any one that has their little stem sticking out the back, it'll get cut off. And that is all. Some people will leave certain ones in and then, just change out other ones. You don't want any runaways. And it's just a little squirt of glue where the stem is hitting the wreath. You want to make sure that these seeded ones get a lot of love on the glue side. just like that. And as your glue stick goes down where it's in this little window, there's just see that you need the next glue stick to help push it through the rest of the way. Little known secret. And it does a wonderful job at it. That's the great part about these, because they will move around for you. They like to accommodate your creativeness. I saw that one beautifully colorful reddish sort of flower, and I thought, you know, that's my focal flower. It's just like a flower arrangement has focal flowers. And I'm going from the back, make sure I didn't miss any stems that need to be glued in. Like that. And this one. But since this is a high temp, it's gluing in really fast. And that's what I wanted. And that leaf right there. There you go. Now you see these in the store and they want to charge, like, gosh, some of them I've seen them even $100. And I spent less than $20 on these supplies, including the wreath. There's lots of coupons out there. So I had a coupon to use for the wreath. But this is how you make a door wreath. Now for Christmas, do one big poinsettia, a big one, right here, for your focal one. Or you can use a cardinal. You can use those little fake birds and stuff. Use whatever you want to be your focal point on your wreath. And you go around and you do just like this. You can use cranberry. There's these little silk flower things that look like cranberry sprigs. Mistletoe. Things that are flocked with that white stuff. I stay away from the glitter. I don't like doing the Christmas ones with all the glitter, because once you use glitter, it's everywhere and it never goes away. This gives it, you know, some flow. Every time I make a new wreath, the little birds, if I leave it up long enough, the birds in the neighborhood decide, oh, I'm going to make a nest in there. And they have for the last 2-3 years. But as you can see, the little bit of that maple leaves really helps. And that one sprig that has the eucalyptus. Now, the bow. I did say I was going to show you how to make a bow. Oh, this little guy's trying to come out, because I forgot to glue that one stick. Where are you, buddy? That's not it. I saw it. There it is. It was on top. Sometimes you have to, I'm going to let this glue dry, and then I will clip the stems on the back, because you want to let it, you know, set in place. So that one needs to set in place. In the meantime, I'll make the bow. And here goes that darn glue gun. It's very lightweight. Couldn't find my big one. I prefer to use the big one because it doesn't flop all over the place. But I can fluff my little focal flower out. There's that. Now we're going to make the bow. Like I said, since it's a fall color, it doesn't matter. Yeah, this has glitter on it, I know. But wire edge ribbon. And you're going to want to have do I have scissors out here? I know I do somewhere. Yeah, they're over here. They're over here. So, to do your fishtail end, this is what we call, you fold it in half. This is the wire edge. You do like a V down to that side, however deep you want it. Then you cut it. And that gives you your ribbon tail. Okay? You start out with the right side facing you, and then you take the top part and you twist it. So now the wrong side is now facing you. And you come around towards yourself once. I'm going to make this kind of full. And then twice. And I'm going to put a knot in the center of this one. The knot is the same way, the same loops around, except you make just a little one. And the trick is you make it right around your thumb. Where your thumb's holding it, you just make a little knot, bow knot around your thumb. The fullest bows have 8 loops. You can do 6. I prefer 8. So it's 4 on each side. Here, there's 3. You can use a pipe cleaner to secure this off, and I don't know where the pipe cleaners are. So I'm going to use a piece of the ribbon, actually. So it blends in. And then there's 4. Now, if this was a wider ribbon, it would be a big old honking bow. The wider the ribbon and the number of loops determines how floofy it is. Okay, so I've got 4 on either side, just like that. And I want, even if the tail is a little bit longer than the other, that's okay. I'm going to cut that off at an angle. Then I'm going to take a 6-inch piece of the same wire ribbon. I'm going to fish it through this where my thumb is. Still scrunching it. You want to keep it scrunched. And you want to turn it over. Tie 1 knot. Don't let go of it. You don't want to lose your loops. Okay, make it good and snug, real tight. So now you've got this thing going. Well, you have one tail in the front, the other one's in the back. So you want that one in the back to be towards the front. So you twist it so the front comes forward. And the piece that you tied the knot, actually put that between it. And then you tie another knot to it. Just like that. Now this is where you can make the bow reusable and where you can use these little guys. These little floral picks. I'm going to tuck this behind it because when you stick it on here, it's not going to show it. And you take them and you twist them opposite directions like this. Okay, just twist them opposite directions. And that's what makes it stay fluffy. You'll see me go out and I'll be fluffing the thing on my door just because of like, wait, that's not fluffy. And put those in there like that. Poof up the little knot. Somewhere I lost the loop, but that's okay. Now to hook it to the wreath, using one of these guys, put it behind the knot that I just did. Kind of shove it in there. There we go. And the wire, as you can see, it's stuck in it. You take that wire and wrap it around the stick, just so it stays on there. And then you put this little bubble thing right in your wreath. Now I'm trying to think, do I want it on that side or want it on this side? I think I want it on this side because this side seems a little bit like it needs a little bit of more love over here. So, and then I can floof the bow around the greenery like this. Now the other thing you can do at this point, I'm going to make my tail on the other side for one thing, is you can also attach some extra wire like this onto that and then actually tie it to it. Well, I've just got it stuck in there because I know that it's not gonna go anywhere once I get it out, get it in there. But I may as well do that anyway to show you how to do that. Wire cutters, piece of this little wire. Now, if you use a pipe cleaner, let's say this is the pipe cleaner, okay? The pipe cleaner goes through the back, it goes through the knot, just like this. Goes to the back between the two tails, just like this, okay? Now make a twist, like that. And then the two pipe cleaner tails, let's pretend this is pipe cleaner. They go stick it through the wreath all the way through it. And then you twist it to secure it from the other side. I'm going to put this right under there. And you go there. And you go there. Because it's going to come out on the other side between, some of these sprigs. Anyway, got like that. And see, there's one end of it. And what's the other end? Oh, there you are. Found it. So once you find it, you take those, if it was a pipe cleaner, we're pretending this is, we're using floral wire for the same purpose, and you just twist it a few times and then just bend it up against it. If these guys are too long, these are all the ones that I glued. Whoops, that's scissors. I need the wire cutters. And cut these long pieces off. Like that. So you want them to kind of be hidden in there, And that. And that one. I think that was all of them. Oh, look, there's one down here. And that should be it. I have that little stick in there because I need to use it to keep it in there. But if I don't, I always cut that off too. So here's the bow. It's all around this lovely little sunflower that's on the bottom edge here. And fluff this tail up. And there you have it. Let's see. So I could have put the bow down here, but since it's a little kind of skinny thing, I'm using it as part of the flower part. So what do you think? You think you could do this? I think you could do it. Anybody can do this. It's very, very easy. I just need to get that leaf under that flower because it probably needs to be the center of attention in that spot, And, very little bit of work. Out of the $20 that I spent on all of that, about $6 is here. I have enough there to do 2 more wreaths. That's the whole idea. You buy them on clearance or end of season, and you cut them apart, and you can make one for friends. You can make one for every door in the house if you want. But I think it turned out pretty good, don't you? Let me know what you think in the comments. If you want me to do a Christmas one, I'll go get the Christmas stuff and I'll make a Christmas one, okay? But I took a break from the paint. I took a break from the sewing stuff because I'm dealing with leather. And just make something crafty. Make something festive. You can do the same thing for your table as far as a centerpiece. And if you want to learn how to do centerpieces, let me know. And tell me what holiday you want it done. Do you want a spring centerpiece you want to learn how to make? Because they come in different shapes. There's cascade, there's a triangle, there's the bouquet shape. There's all kinds of different shapes that you can make. And let me know and we'll do some more crafting. So it's Crafty Sue. This is the fall wreath from Thanksgiving or whatever. And because I like fall and I like the colors of fall. So if you enjoyed the videos, please let me know in the comments and let me know if you'd like to see anything similar or not. We're actually going to do a Christmas one for the mailbox next on a swag. God bless. Come back and visit.